The Call of Ktulu has no isolated bass track. Cliff's part is the white whale of early Metallica recordings. Was I able to isolate it? Stick around and find out. Written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Cliff Burton, and Dave Mustaine, The Call of Ktulu is the 8th and final track on Ride the Lightning. We got a lot of ground to cover today. Let's not dawdle. Up until this point, we've had the luxury of an isolated bass track for, barring Escape, almost every song on the album. The Call of Ktulu also has no isolated bass track, but Cliff doesn't really play bass on this song. He plays lead bass, and thankfully he uses distortion, which gives us lots of frequencies to grab onto with equalizers. So how do we isolate the Cliff part on this song? We get scientific about frequencies. This is the frequency chart that I used to A, learn frequencies, and B, choose which frequencies to target when creating my effects chains for Kill Bass 1 and 2, and Ride Bass 1 and 2, etc. When it came time for the Call of Ktulu, this chart went out the window. I sat down at my desk and listened to the song on monitors for what must have been an hour and a half a night after work for 3 weeks straight. I was adding graphic equalizer plugins and turning knobs on them until everything that I heard started to come into place, but I had to be careful. There's a ceiling on what you can boost until things start clipping. So I had to make sure that every single frequency that was boosted was to serve a note that I heard in the song. This is the remaster, unaltered. Up here we have the enhanced high frequency. There's 4 effects chains right there. They're all equalizers. And this is the enhanced low frequency. There's 2 effects chains. That's the bread and butter of what I used for the song. And then down here, I just added Moises yesterday, and I ran it through my Empress compressor. It's almost useless for this song because he plays so much lead bass. There's sections, though, where it does bring out his right hand, which kind of gets lost in all these equalizers. So it does bring back a little bit of that low frequency. Okay, we'll start with the remaster. I'm going to solo it real quick. This is an effects chain I named Ktulu for obvious reasons. It's really just a volume knob to bring the rest of the song down so I could boost the other frequencies around it and bring the bass up. Let's see what it sounds like unaltered. This is ripped directly from CD. Alright. Up here I've got enhanced HF, which is high frequency. I named all 4 of these effects chain plugin presets. Cliff of Ktulu 1 through 4. There's lots of equalizers on here. It sounds like this. I know, right? Down here, I've got enhanced LF, low frequency. I named both of these Basic Ktulu. He is playing a bass guitar here, so this is all the low end stuff. It sounds like this. Right, you're not going to get Kirk Hammett off the recording unless you use equalizers to filter him out, and it makes it sound like doo-doo, so I didn't do that. And down here we have Moises. Moises was borderline useless for this song, but it did bring out a lot of the definition of what his right hand was playing, so I'll give it credit there. That sounds like this. Alright, and all together sounds like this. Alright. So there are 41 equalizers at work on this song. Let's look at enhanced HF. This is Cliff of Ktulu 1. This is the first equalizer. I spent many nights after work listening to this song for about 3 weeks and just twisting knobs. There are, on this effects chain, a total of 7. On Cliff of Ktulu 2, there's a total of 9. I'm afraid to mess with these. Make them all 8 or whatever, but I don't want to. One frequency could mess everything up, so I don't touch these anymore, but these were finalized about a year ago. Cliff of Ktulu 3 has 8 equalizers on it. Okay. Cliff of Ktulu 4 has 9. Alright. Bass of Ktulu on enhanced LF. Both of these have 4. And that's pretty much it. So now that the equalizers have been discussed, we can move forward on the automation and what I did and why I did it. Right here, you can see I cut off the wind on the enhanced HF. All you got was the wispy, crispy stuff. You don't want that. Didn't sound good. Right here, this is what it was going to sound like until I added Moises to it. I was pretty proud of this, believe it or not. So you see how the enhanced low frequency track does not come in until the bass starts? That's deliberate. That's to make the bass really be a presence once it starts. And Moises actually did that one better and made it ever so slightly more defined. Check this out. You hear those little slides? You don't hear those with just boosting it with the equalizers. Moises really does have this AI that separates, albeit a limited low frequency section of the bass track, but still more than you would have heard had you just done this with equalizers. I had to also automate down the extra noise. The Lord giveth and he taketh away. Check this out. This is Moises isolated with the automation lane turned off. You'll see instantly what I'm talking about. So we're going to turn the automation lane back on, and it sounds like this. Okay, and then you can hear it when it's all put together, but Cliff plays 2 octave of the A's, and then he plays the root A on the open A string. It's like boom, 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 boom. So it's really cool. It brings that out. Now right here, you can see I'm going to unsolo Moises for a second. This comes up and this comes down. Basically, this is all a cushion of everything else. So as the enhanced comes up, it's because Cliff's about to start soloing here, and as the low frequency comes down, it's because there's really no need to have it anymore once he starts playing lead bass. We'll zoom out a little bit, and I had to keep Moises down right here as well, because when Cliff goes high, all you get is rumble, which you don't need. And then over here, same thing to keep it when it goes back to just James playing the clean electric by himself. Let's just hear that real quick. That was all done to keep the recording from changing its tone as the song plays. And then over here, I just brought down this section right here because the high frequency was just a bit too much. Same with Moises. There was noise in here that did not need to be there. And at the end of the song, you can see, automates down, and the remaster rings out by itself. And now our moment of guitar architecture. The Call of Ktulu is very much your traditional Metallica song, with the exception of Cliff Burton playing lead bass for most of the song. And that said, with James playing cookie cutter riffs that you could cut and paste into any section of the song because they're literally perfect, why not give Cliff a little bit more juice? He's taken a solo. But maybe they didn't like the way the solo was, or maybe they didn't like his performance or whatever, but he was criminally quiet in the mix, and I will say that. There is a harmony section at the end where I believe it's James on harmony lead left and Kirk on harmony lead right. Other than that, Call of Ktulu is one monster of a song, clocking in at 8 minutes and 52 seconds. And now it's time once again for the In-Album Lifeline segment, brought to you as always by Fresh Produce. No, not the brand, the concept. Eat your fruits and veggies. In this segment, I always ask the question, would I trade? There are 6 songs on Ride the Lightning that have isolated bass tracks. The 2 that don't are Escape and the Call of Ktulu. With regards to the Call of Ktulu, would I trade in one of the isolated bass tracks that we do have from Ride the Lightning to get one for the Cliff part on this song? Yes, I would. I would trade in Fight Fire with Fire, or For Whom the Bell Tolls, where you can actually hear the bass on the song, or Trapped Under Ice. Any one of those 3 songs, I would happily sacrifice the bass part to get one for this one. So the verdict is yes, I would trade. Now I would just sing. The Call of Ktulu and Season 2 are done. The Re-Remastered song is coming out alongside this episode, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Stay tuned for more. The Call of Ktulu is the 8th and final track on Ride the Lightning. We got a lot to get.